Welcome to another episode of Threads of Enlightenment. My name is Ken Primus. I am your host. In this episode, we're going to discuss attitudes for success. A friend of mine, she always says that perspective is key, and there's a lot in that particular word. We're going to unpack that, and then we're going to go into a study of attitudes for success, and we'll see how it bridges into the other. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Threads of Enlightenment. As I mentioned earlier, that my friend had mentioned, says her big thing is that perspective is key. And first, let me give you a little definition of what, the classic definition of perspective, which is the unique way in which a person sees something. And so from that place, and it talks about first person narrative in storytelling and so forth, but it is the unique way a person sees something. Whatever situation it comes into your life, whatever it is, good or bad, however you look at it, your perspective of it will lead how your attitudes, whatever attitudes you have in that situation, and will lead to your behavior. And so, as I mentioned, Radha and I, we wrote this book, Threads of Enlightenment. This is chapter 5 of that book. And I had opened it by this little nugget that I would say, attitudes can be adjusted. Just smile and see, and that is absolutely true. This is really something that a lot of us don't understand in our quest for personal growth and self-sufficiency, freedom from our past and from thoughts and from all these things that control us. But Radha has a little thing I'm going to read from the book that she had talked about as far as attitude. She said, what is an attitude? An attitude is a womb of action. To create success, to birth success, we must all go through a labor process. A cesarean is not an option, which is an awesome observation. Our attitude is a vantage point from which we see ourselves and the actions that directly affect our lives. And so this is really key to our growth. We talked about several other principles of forgiving others and all these different things. But I'm telling you guys, this is really something that you have to focus on. Another part that Radha had said, she said, our attitude is a canvas upon which we paint our thoughts, precursor of our actions. Like an artist that makes a mistake, a little attitude that makes a mistake, an attitude of success gives us the ability to weave that mistake into a lesson, to weave that mistake into a lesson, I apologize, in the painting of life. That mistakes can be seen as an obstacle in our journey to success, or it can be used as a building block to not only strengthen, but also heighten and the foundation upon which we stand. There have been so much studies out there that have been done concerning the attitudes of success, and you can find those things all over in different parts of life. I know one of the things that I had to learn about was how my attitude really affects the way you think, or your critical thinking skills. And when you are in a lot of pain, it becomes even harder for those attitudes to come out. You would have to basically put up a good fight, because this is about fighting for your survival, for your existence, your personal power to gain back all that was taken from you. And it is a fight. It basically becomes that. It becomes a fight against not people, but against thoughts, perceptions of yourself, this loop that we are constantly in because of what has been done to us. And we, in many cases, don't know how to come out. But one of the very first things that you have to take control of is your attitude. And one of the very first attitudes that you have to have in that critical thinking process is that of confidence. And that's when you look and you say to your situation, to yourself, and you begin to speak to yourself and talk to yourself and encourage yourself. And you need to develop a strong sense of confidence within you, which will, or an attitude of thinking independently from those thoughts that will come to you on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis, of how you're no good, you're weak, you're all those type of stuff. And attitudes of fairness. Fairness, these are attitudes I'm talking about that you have to have towards yourself. Not someone else on the outside. This is about you, because if you have these attitudes concerning yourself, you will definitely have them for someone else. And so to have attitudes of fairness to yourself, give yourself a chance. Learn to be responsibility, an attitude of responsibility, of one of authority, taking risk, because it takes risk to come out of your situation, to not be bogged down by the hurt and the pain. Attitude of discipline. You're going to have to learn how to discipline your thoughts. Again, the goal is for you to come out of your situation. Your attitudes of perseverance. You have to, these are things that, again, as I mentioned towards for you, you have to become creative. Attitudes of creativity, curiosity. These are the things that will help you to become you and remake yourself. You have to look in and dig and find that attitude of integrity that you have towards yourself, that before you were in this situation, and when someone stripped you of all your power from where you came out of, your attitude of humility, become humble, and begin to rebuild yourself. And you have to have all of these attitudes within your body and your mind, your soul, your spirit, so that you can begin to use your skills of critical thinking to come out. Because as you begin to understand the relationships between your perception, between your attitude, which actually leads you to your behaviors. There's a relationship there that you must understand that takes place within attitude. And there's science and sociologists out there, have tons of studies, on the attitude and the theories and attitudes of behavioral relationship and all these type of stuff that are out there. And it's not something that I have just pulled together or whatever. This is an actual industry, because your attitude affects every aspect of you, but you have to first start with a perception. And once that perception bridges to that attitude, and your attitude bridges to your behavior. And so understand that connection, and you'll come out of your situation much faster than where you're at. Many people have spent years of their lives and have never been able to come out because of how someone have damaged them. They haven't gained back their ability to begin to become that critical thinker by way of their attitude, allowing them to become. Another nugget that I would tell people, that I would say, in life, remember this: your attitude and your decisions will always be there with you. And those are the ways that how you begin to come out, your perception of who you are, and what you were before. But what you're doing is recreating yourself from this situation in a personal journey. We started with self-love and all the other things, solitude and gaining insight. And as you begin to take and adjust your attitude, It is, is the key to life. Having the right attitude is very important. It dictates how you behave, and again, this will dictate how you live. I think it was Earl Nightingale that defines attitude as the position of being or bearing as indicating action, feeling or mood. It is our attitude towards life that determines life attitude towards us. And that is so key. I mean, let me repeat that again. It is our attitude towards life that dictates or determines life's attitude towards us. And so it is our responsibility. The things that I'm teaching here, is all about our responsibility, and us taking control of our life and beginning to become that highly effective critical thinker that it will take to help you with your personal growth and for you to stand up and develop. So we have to learn how to develop an attitude of success. And some of those attitudes that I've mentioned to you, you have to actually want it so bad. You have to just like anything else in life, you want to be free, you want to be successful. And so to take back your power from that person and what they have done for you and done to you, the first thing you and I, when we get up in the morning, every morning that we wake up, we are faced with a decision. One of the first decisions is that encounter with our attitude and how you feel and all this kind of stuff. And so when you come out of your bed, remember that your perspective. Greet yourself with words of joy, words of strength, of encouragement, because it's your first thing that you're going to see. With gratitude, have a spirit of gratitude. Take control of your attitude right there, because once you get control of it there, then you will be able to control your day. We should wake up every morning, as I said, with that spirit of gratitude, and from that place you'll be able to make decisions to take control of your thoughts and your attitude and how you respond to people. There's so many things out there. You can read articles and books and stuff on the internet and all over the place about attitudes, strategies for attitudes, to improving your attitude. Self-coaching, I remember, is one of them, and you do that through the words that you speak to yourself. It's important what you say to yourself, because it's how you begin to build your spirit. This is how you feel about yourself. I used to remember on my journey, as I got stronger and stronger, I actually fell in love with myself. And learning to love myself is hard, because, again, as I mentioned, you're the one that knows all your dark secrets and your faults and your weaknesses and so forth. And to learn to love that is empowering. You have to learn how to motivate yourself, because there are going to be days that you'll be up. There are going to be days that you're going to be down. But this is a journey, and that's why I entitled the book A Journey into Personal Growth, because it's not just one day, it's continuous until you die. And so one of the very first things, as I mentioned, to improve your attitude is your self-coaching, of talking to yourself, encouraging yourself, loving on yourself with your words and your deeds. You must learn to become self-motivating through discovering your deep desires and motives as to why and how and all of these things. You got to learn how to see yourself differently, no longer as one in broken. There's a story that I remember as a child going to church, and they were talking about Jesus dying on the cross, and one of the reasons why he stayed up on the cross, they says, was because he saw, he looked ahead and he visualized all the people that would be saved through his action. And so he used the power of visualization to stay up on that cross, so that he can fulfill his purpose. And so that's the same principle with you and I. We have to visualize ourselves victorious, overcoming this situation, so that we can begin to learn how to live and find our purpose. We gotta, as I mentioned, your words, you gotta convince yourself by speaking good things about you, because that's what someone did to you. They said the reverse about you, and got you into this mess. Stuff like we talked about before. You're no good. You're a waste. I can do better than this. Whatever it is that they use to hurt you. Your words is the key. The principle that it says that the words encompass or holds death or life are in the power of the tongue. And so whatever power that you need is in their tongue, and you begin to speak things and call blessings upon yourself. This is how you motivate yourself and just keep going. It's your words. But you have to have a certain perspective on things. Look at your future. Visualize what you're looking to have and what you want to create. And then you begin to step in to create it. And you have to understand the nuances of this. As I mentioned to you, it's just a slight nuances of your perception is key, and how you perceive your situation. When things come into your life, it's how you perceive your situation that you will take away the power from it. When someone does something to you, we never learned how to take it and use perspective to look at it differently, that we may have an attitude that takes that information that they said to us and have an attitude where we look at it as and turn it into something positive, to use it to motivate us, to give us fire, a burning fire, to motivate us to get to a different place from what they had said, and which will cause us to behave a certain way. And so because we didn't understand that little piece, that the perspective will lead to the attitude, and the attitude would lead onto the behavior. And that process, that breakdown in the process that the person does to us, happens year after year after year after year. And then before you know it, you look at yourself, and we all say this thing: what happened to me? What happened to me? How did I get here? I used to be such a really nice person. Or your friends will come and say, you used to be a nice person, you used to be a strong person, you used to be this, you used to be that. And so it's our responsibility to begin to take back some of the things, the power that we gave up. And I think some of us need to realize that we gave that power to that person, and it is our responsibility to take it back, because they took our power and abused us, broke us down, turned us into something that they wanted and something that we were not. And we've looked into the mirror, we've seen ourselves, and we realize this is not a healthy place to be. and that I want to begin to start my journey to self-discovery, self-respect, and how we perceive things, what type of attitudes that we have, and they will dictate our behavior, and we will change this thing and become very successful, and we can in turn back and help someone because you are now free from the ways of mental destruction that have captured your life for so many years. And so, as I mentioned, there are tons of stuff out there that you can look at that talks about attitude and behavior. There's a link between that. You have all kinds of exercises that people do to strengthen your critical thinking ability. There's stuff out there, but that's the key, is that you have these traits that will help us to become effective critical thinkers, and curiosity, I know, is one of them. Compassion is another. Awareness and the art of living in awareness. I think that's why we got to where we got from that, allowing that person to break our will and break our ability to like ourselves down, because we never lived in an awareness. Because if we lived in a space of awareness, we would be aware of what they're doing, and then we would resist. But usually it's subtle, and awareness demands much focus and being on constant guard of your emotions, your what I say, your spirit, soul, and body. And so we have to learn to live in a space of awareness, and to be decisiveness is another part. To be decisive in our decisions, in what we want, to live in a space of honesty to ourselves first, and to our our families and our kids and husbands and wives. It is not selfishness to put yourself first. A lot of people confuse that. I'm selfish. It's not selfishness to put yourself first. It is selfishness to when you belittle someone or try to break someone in order for you to become something else, to be bigger than or whatever. But you've got to learn to take care of yourself first, so that you can in turn take care of your family, take care of the kids, take care of the husbands and wives and everyone else. You have to learn to become pliable to your words. Where you are strengthening your words, you were pliable to their words of you. So it's time for you to become pliable to your words. Learn to trust yourself again. Trust yourself for you. Encourage yourself and believe the words that you say. Believe it, and as you believe it more and more, you'll stand up. You'll see the strength that happens in the body, in the cell, because it starts at a cellular level, and then you become to get stronger and stronger. You become to be, learn to become, set your goals where you have these audacious goals, and which you will gain your strength and independence. Just don't let anyone come into your space that is contrary to your thoughts and your belief. Become like what they call an unshakable optimist. Just don't let anything bring you down. Look at your future and fight for it. There's no way, create your own, you're creating, as they say, a brand, a new brand. And when your ex come and see this new brand, they're looking at it, and they can't damage you in any way, shape, or form, because you're a new brand. They look at you and go, "Oh, you've changed." And yeah, I've changed. I'm stronger. I'm wiser. And this is the new brand that I have created so that you will not have access to this one at all. And so, and you do that through your motivations, being motivated. It keeps, speaking positive things about yourself. Words are, like I said, power. The life and death are in power of the tongue. So you have to watch how you speak to yourself. When you get up in the morning, begin to encourage yourself there. It is the place of victory. You start with meditation. Meditation, I keep telling you guys, is the key to a lot of things. And I know that in my life, it saved me. One of the things, attitudes that I talked about is confidence. And confidence is a good friend in times of struggle. And you remember that, confidence is a good friend in times of struggle, because it is what you're going to need to help you to stand up when you have nothing else to stand. And, I would tell my children, I remember I would tell my children as they were growing up and in school, and I would tell them that people will always trust a confident person. Be that person, and if you take a look and see in life, people always trust a confident person. They don't like weakness. They take advantage of weakness. So be that person of confidence. A good attitude will always pick you up after everyone else has failed. A good attitude will pick you up after everyone else has failed. And so then you have to look into you, look into your being, look into your spirit, look into your soul, look deep, and grab on to the fact that your perspective in that current darkness is what is like the seed that once you change that seed, it will then change your attitude, and then your attitude will then change your behavior, and your behavior will change your life. As I mentioned earlier, it is our attitude towards life that determines life's attitude towards us. So become that person that is confident, become that person that is aware of how to live, how to recognize that when someone says something contrary to your belief system, that you will take it, you will look at it from a different perspective, your point of view on that situation. That's their opinion of you. Take your point of view, your perspective, and then take that perspective and bring that attitude to that perspective, and then change your life so that you are creating this new brand, as I mentioned earlier, so that when people see you, they'll notice you, they'll see it, and they'll mention it to you and tell you that, oh wow, like I said, you look different, you talk different, you're walking different. Yeah. Because the cost that you paid to come out and create that new brand. And so this particular life of ours, it happens one time, man. So it is our responsibility to take control, because we all get broken. We all get placed into the dark places of life, but that's the place where we begin to look into ourselves and see how beautiful we truly are. And don't let anyone's opinion of you cause you to destroy yourself. Don't let anyone's opinion of you cause you to destroy yourself. whether it's by words that you destroy yourself or by our deeds. Don't let them do it. Don't give them that power. Take it back. Thank you for joining me here at Threads of Enlightenment. Until next time, enjoy the journey.